This is the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
I'm not making any money talking these days. Good Christ. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. Still am. I guess I am a decent guy because I'm a fucking jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Apparently I'm a dick. I'm not an awful guy, but I've done so much ridiculous stuff. I'm an awful guy. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast, back from the dead, folks. Although not fully back from the dead, I gotta be honest, I feel awful. I don't know, I can't explain it. Like today, for some reason, I'm just like completely fatigued, and you don't fucking care. Nobody cares. Why would I tell you? You don't care. But back after our friend Lily Von Stupp did an amazing job last week, right? Yes? Yay, there she is. That's Lily. Thanks for all your hard work last week. She was the sub, and she's mad because nobody got her sub joke. And I'm like, what do you mean sub joke? Sub, like substitute teacher. She's like, no, sub like dom and sub like I'm submissive. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that America wasn't thinking about you in the terms that a pervert would think of you. But, and that disappointed you. That's my favorite part is she's upset. I can't believe people didn't think of me as a submissive. God damn, doesn't this whole entire country want to think of me tied up on my knees? Oh, I don't understand it. You did, pretty much. And it's funny because in the last week, I told her, I go, you know what, dude, just vamp it. Because originally there was going to be I must tell you, there was going to be no show last week. There was just going to be Lily coming on for 5 minutes and vamping, saying, Mike's sick. But then, I will tell you, two people thought of a good idea. One is my good friend Mex. He thought it would be a good idea to use clips from year one. And also, someone who contacted me via Twitter. I think his name was Tev. I have no idea. I don't remember. Twitter names are ridiculous. So somebody on Twitter wrote me and said, hey, you should use this week as like a commercial for year one, like to try to sell people and get them to buy it. And I saw that and I went, oh my God. So I called Mex and I go, dude, this guy had a great idea. He's like, why don't we use this week as a commercial for year one and try to sell some of those? And Mex is like, oh, yeah, you mean like the idea that I told you about 1,000,000 times every week, every time that I think that tell you that you should have a backup show to use just in case something horrible happens and maybe you could use it to sell year one. Remember when I told you that, Mike? And I said, oh, Max, I never thought you would turn into this person. But it turns out, because Max had that idea, and then this person on Twitter had that idea. So there you go. So that was why last week became last week, and we were able to cobble together stories. And Lily, I called her last week, and I sounded like I was talking through a fucking vocoder because I was all fucked up. I don't know. I still don't know what happened to me, folks. I'll bore you with it in a second. But I told Lily to just go ahead and vamp the show. And she's like, could you do me a favor and write me a script? Really? You need a script to say, hey, here's this story? All right. I mean, I guess. So then I wrote her the script. And I actually wrote the word sub in the script for substitute teachers. And as a kid, we'd say, oh, I got a sub. I never even thought that she thought that I meant submissive and was looking to run with that. I had no clue. I gotta be honest with you. I was having fever dreams at my house. I had a temperature of like 104, and Karen told me, she's like, dude, you like woke up and you were telling me some story about how everybody in Boston was mad at you and that you had stolen the money for the medicine and they were all angry and you were gonna be in trouble. And I'm like, I don't remember ever saying any of that. She's like, yeah, you talked about it for like 15 minutes. I said, oh, that's creepy, man. That's like weird, The Omen fucking Damien bullshit. When someone just starts talking in bed, oh God, Karen does that sometimes when she's asleep. She'll just start talking, and I'm like, stop, haunted person. And then she's got a wall with like 13 crucifixes on it, and I'll just luckily I'll just grab one and put it right on her forehead. Stop talking in the middle of the night. Oh my God! If you want to have a discussion with me, wake up out of your deep sleep. I don't want to hear you talking about going on the bus and riding with fairies. Put this on your head and burn. So today, folks, I am fatigued. I don't know what happened. I was sort of fine. I thought, all right, here's what I thought. First, I thought I had food poisoning. Okay. And, cause it showed up really quick. And, then I got like a really high fever. Then I but I was still freezing. Like it was this weird deal. So I put on like 3 jackets, even though I had 103-degree fever. That's not smart. And also, I had 103-degree fever, and I'm wearing 3 jackets, not sweating. That's probably bad, right? I would think that's bad. So then I got the chills, and I got the chills so bad that I couldn't even dial the phone. Like my hand was like shaking all over the place. I looked like the guy in the Devo video when they start saying baby, 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 baby in the Satisfaction video. Go look it up on YouTube right now. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's a guy in the video, and he starts shaking like uncontrollably. That's what I was doing. I was fucking shaking. And so I didn't know what to do. So then I went home and crashed into fever dreams. And here's the good news, folks. I got to be sick for about 5 hours. And then my wife decided to join me in Sickville. Hey, thanks for taking care of me, hon. I'm glad you've gone ahead and jumped the fence and decided to get just as... Literally, I went home and I went to sleep. She went to work Monday, and I went to sleep Monday. And I woke up. She came home from work, and I'm like, I'm 104-degree fever. And she goes, bad news. I'm feeling kind of feverish now. Oh, of course you are. God forbid I get any time at all to be taken care of or have my hair stroked or treated like a 5-year-old or get some soup, anything at all. God forbid I get any time on my own to have. And again, folks, I'm bad. I know. I get it. I'm an idiot. I get mad at my wife when she gets sick. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing in the fucking world. Why? I don't know why I do it. Because I want, like, I'm selfish. Like, could I just be sick? Could I be sick for a couple days and get taken care of? Could that happen? That would be great. But unfortunately, she gets sick, and then of course, she has to get more sick than me, and that has a lot to do with the fact that I'm stronger than her. Let's be honest. I'm a strapping young man, and I have white blood cells that are wearing boxing gloves, and everything's fine. But then she gets sick and she's like wiped out, and then she's moaning, like, because when I get sick I moan. I mean, literally, if when you get that 104-degree fever and you're laying in bed and you don't know what the fuck is happening, you just lay there in the fetal position and hold your balls and moan. That's all I did, man. I got my fucking both hands on my balls and I'm just going, oh, I'm just the awful feeling, terrible. But boy, that makes you feel good though. That you feel good doing that. But then, I don't want to see Karen holding her balls and moaning. Fuck all that. I don't want that. Get better. What are you doing? Why are you sick? God damn it. Yes, I'm selfish. So then I get sick and we bring me to the doctor, and I can't even, like, I can barely walk upstairs. I'm like whacked out. So, and I'll tell you this. I just picked up a new primary care. Yes, I picked him up. I picked up a new primary care physician. He was at the bus stop. I pulled up. I said, "Hey, want a ride?" He jumped in. There you go. Done. So we get this new primary care physician just 2 weeks ago. He's the guy I went to because I was going to start Rocky with the blog. I had to go get a physical done, and the reason I need a new primary care physician is all right. I had my first doctor. I told you about this. My first primary care physician was the guy when I moved here. We had him for like 10 years, but then he got old and like he forgot who we were. Like he didn't know who we were and all this bullshit. That's creepy for a doctor. So then we moved on to another guy. We went to him once and he smelled like he was awful. Like he had like body odor. I'm like, dude, if you're a doctor and you got body odor, clean up, okay? Yeah, just get clean. So we bailed on him. So then we went to another doctor and he was great. This guy was the best. And then he wound up closing up shop because he had more of a clinic than a practice. So he decided to go straight clinic, and which is fine because help the underprivileged. They deserve it, I suppose. And as much as I like to think of myself as the underprivileged, when you go to a clinic, you find out that you're really not the underprivileged. You're just a fat white guy who needs to see a doctor. Meanwhile, there's 4 Hispanic families, which means there's 65 people in the lobby. And they're all there because the children constantly have sniffles. That's it. So they're waiting to get vaccinated or I don't know what they do. Maybe they run in and they smash open a piñata and antibiotics fall out. I don't know what happens to these people. But good luck to them. So this doctor goes ahead and converts that practice, and that's fine. So we had to find, again, Karen and I are sent off into the, like, nomads to go find more physicians. And the thing is, Karen has her oncologist, so he's like her main guy. I don't have anybody. So then we find this new doctor, and this is the doctor who I went to where Alan had his crown on, and then it turned into a huge, the guy took the crown away. I told that story in year 1, I think. Was that year 1 or year 2? Was it year 2? Okay, so yeah, no, that was year 1 because it's the Elvis episode.
Oh, you're right.
Because last week when I was looking for anecdotes, I almost played the Elvis story on last week's show, and then I was actually going to play that whole episode because the whole Alan crown and then everything, and it had the doctor theme, and I was off sick. Folks, I was off sick last week. I don't know if I mentioned it to you. Oh Jesus, I could not fucking move. It was retarded. So anyway, I was with that doctor, and then that doctor she prescribed some vitamin D for me, and she checked my cholesterol, and I had a physical, and I got squared away, and then I was going to see her again in 3 months. Well, 3 months came up, and she called us, and her office called, and they said, hey, she's going to be on vacation. Can we reschedule for like 3 weeks after that? And folks, that pissed me off. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like, dude, you're a doctor, and you're going out of town for 3 weeks, and you've decided to just change your entire fucking schedule and call people who had appointments and change them? And granted, look, everybody needs vacation, particularly people who have to sit through my nonsense. That's fine. I get that. But it just seemed weird that she was just going to go ahead and inconvenience everybody on her list. So I said, all right, well, fuck it. I'll find a new doctor. So then we asked Karen's oncologist for a recommendation, and he turned us toward the guy that we have now. And so I just went to his office for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I went to get a physical. Karen got a pphysical, and he ran down our history, and could not have been a nicer, sweeter guy. And he seemed like a great attentive doctor, and I was very excited about it. Now, unfortunately, here's the thing: I don't ever get sick, folks. I really don't get sick. About the extent of it is when I have unfortunately I have to go to the emergency room because I have a candle in my ear. I mean, it's the only thing that I wind up having to do. But as far as getting sick, that doesn't happen a lot for me, thankfully. In my youth, I mean, as I get older now, I find myself maybe I'm getting susceptible. I have no clue, especially now with these mutating viruses. So, but I have to go to the doctor this week. I go see him like 4 times. Like my other primary care physicians, I saw 4 times in fucking 6 years. But this guy now I got to see 4 times in like 3 weeks. We do the physical. We have to go get the results of the physical. I got to go get another blood test. And then I get sick, and then I have to go to his office, and then we have to go get, those results. Just a fucking nightmare. So I go in, sick, and he's really nice, and he prescribes an antibiotic, and then he says, we'll take a blood test. I said, dude, do I have swine flu? He says, well, I mean, I don't know. Like, what are your symptoms? And I told him everything, and I had all of the symptoms of swine flu except the cough. I guess swine flu has a cough. I didn't have a cough. So he's like, well, what we'll do is we'll run a rapid influenza blood test, and we'll get it taken care of. We'll figure it out. We'll be able to rule out whatever we can rule out. That'll be fine. So I'll have the results for you tomorrow. I said, great. So we head home, and I mean, I'm sick. I mean, I'm like weirdly, I can't even raise my head sick. And then Karen's starting to get sick. And again, folks, I don't mean to be a fucking jagoff about it, but please, why are you sick? Could you stop being sick? Just take medicine. Do something. Fight it off. God damn it. Let me be sick for 3 days. Can we do that? Selfish. Me, not her. I know she's not selfish. What if I thought she was selfish because she got a germ in her? Oh, God damn it, honey. Why are you so selfish, living with me and catching my illness? You jerk. But I'm not going to lie. It made me fucking mad, dude. And I again, I'm a child. I understand that I'm a selfish child. But I just wanted to be, could I take care of me? All right, so anyway. So I'm sick, and here's another thing. I'm bitching. All right, I'm sick, right? So Karen's got this window where she can go, like, stock the house up with, like, orange juice and soup, and, we need water. I mean, you got to stay hydrated, all this different stuff. So she brings me home, and I go to sleep. Like, I'm wiped out. I don't know what's happening. And she didn't go to the store. Like, she didn't go buy any of the stuff that we needed. Here's the thing. All right, my wife, this is what she did. She went to Gelson's, and she bought lime Jell-O. Like, because she said to me, she's like, because the doctor's like, you can eat Jell-O and drink fluids and stuff. So she said, what kind do you want? I go, I don't know, like lime Jell-O with pears. So she did. She bought 4 containers of lime gelatin with pears, and that's it. Like, she didn't buy soup. She didn't buy Tylenol. She didn't buy any water or orange juice or anything. She bought me lime Jell-O. Like, literally, I'm going to survive on lime Jell-O for the next fucking 3 days. And it's dead. They added like high fructose corn syrup to it. It was just, and I couldn't eat. Like, I could barely keep anything down anyway. God damn it. Stock the house with beverages, especially because you're feeling sick. If you're feeling sick, guess what? You know what that means? Oh, fucking Mike, because he's recovering a little sooner than her, has to go and get the fucking beverages in the soup. God damn it. Why do I care? I shouldn't care, right? I should just realize that we're all in this together, and I love my wife, and that I'm going to be sick, and she's going to be sick, and we're going to be fine. But unfortunately, I have to make it a contest, and I don't mean to make it a contest. I don't want to. But I want to be sick, and I want to be taken care of. That's it, right? Isn't that right? But that's what happens. Sure enough, the next day, she's wiped out. I mean, Karen can't even move. I'm a little better, okay? My temperature's around 100, but now she's up around 102, 103. But because I'm 2 degrees lower, apparently that means I can go shopping. I don't fucking know. All I know is we have to because we have virtually no water left in the house and almost no orange juice. And I have to go get. I have to go shopping at 100 degrees. And then Karen's bitching. She's like, oh, I'm sick. I'm sick. God damn it, I'm sick too. I was sick first. Stop glomming onto my sick train. God damn it, let me be sick. I don't know, married couples, do you do the same thing? Do you resent like your significant other because they get sick and you just want to be, maybe not. Maybe it's just me. And I fully realize you can't answer me, by the way. I'm like, is it married couples? Anybody out there? Stupid. But like if you got a girlfriend, I mean, when you're dating, it's a different thing. Like you want to take care of each other and everything like that. But now, I'm home and I can barely move. Whatever. I'm an idiot. Folks, I'm an idiot. I'm bitching and moaning for no reason. So the next day, I got to bring her to the doctor. So I called him up. Now again, this guy has been my doctor for a week. I'm in the office 9 fucking times. It's ridiculous. So I bring Karen. Now the office closes at 5. Check that. I'm getting ahead of myself. When I had my rapid influenza test, the next day I was sick and I called the doctor looking for my results. They told me they didn't have my blood test results because there was trouble at the lab. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there was some sort of raid and people were stealing sick people's blood. I don't know if there's I picture just a bunch of like blood hemoglobin technicians who've locked themselves out. Like they're in a hallway and they're just trying to jimmy the door with a fucking coat hanger or a nail file or a credit card. And they're like, fuck it, let's just go home. So I don't know why, but they said there was trouble at the lab and they didn't get the results. So then the next day, I got to bring Karen in. So I called them at 4 and I said, look, I'm supposed to get blood test results and the doctor was supposed to have some medicine there for my wife. And they said, okay, well, come on in. So we finally get there about 5 o'clock and about 10 to 5 we get there. They close at 5. I walk in the door at 10 to 5. They have locked the window where you walk up and talk to people. Like when you walk to the doctor's office and there's like someone in the little window there. They've locked it with like a little lever and an actual lock. It's insane. Like why is it locked? So I don't want to be a dick and knock. I mean, everybody's got they want to go home. I fucking get it, but I'm here. I called. So I'm waiting. Nobody shows up. So I got a little rap on the window. So they come around the corner and she I even see her do it. She's like, really? You're that upset? So she unlocks the window and she slides it back. And I go, hi, I'm here to pick up some medicine for my wife. And they go, well, we're closed at 5. And I said, I understand. I called ahead. Doctor said he had medicine for my wife. So she goes, what's the name? I told her. She went and grabbed it. She goes, there you go, thanks. And she goes to slide the window closed. They go, oh, hold on. I'm supposed to get some blood test results for my blood. And she goes, well, what was the deal? And I said, well, he was going to take rapid influenza tests to find out, exactly what was wrong with me. And she goes, oh, well, you know what? They're having problems at the lab, as far as I know. So why don't you just go ahead and call tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and take care of it then. And I said, okay. And I leaned in the window. I did this on purpose. I leaned in the window, and I said, okay, no problem. So you're telling me I don't have swine flu, right? And she goes, excuse me? And I again, I'm leaning in their little cubby hole. I'm violating their personal space on purpose because you know what? Fuck you and your trouble at the lab bullshit. And granted, our entire fucking state is falling apart. There's like fires and sinkholes and bullshit that's going on. But I got to figure nothing like that has hit the lab. So I lean in and I look at her and I said, I just want to make sure that I don't have swine flu. That's really all I want. I go, so if you're telling me that I'm fine, I'll go ahead and take off and you can call me tomorrow and tell me whether or not I have swine flu. And she goes, you might have swine flu? I go, yeah, the doctor thought I might. So that's why he wound up sending a rapid flu test. And then yesterday they said there was trouble at the lab. And now I would really like to know whether or not I have swine flu. But if you're telling me I don't, then I guess then that's okay. And she goes, hold on a second. I'll call them right now. I said, yeah, that'd be a good idea, probably. So she walks off. And I look at Karen, and Karen's half groggy and moaning on a chair because, again, she's sick. She stole my sick thunder. And I'm waiting for them to come out. And finally a woman, comes out. And it's so great. She opens the door, but she won't come anywhere near me. She's as far back from me as she can. She just opens the door with her arm. And she goes, you know what? We called the lab, and it turns out that your blood tests were inconclusive. I said, what does that mean? She goes, well, they're not sure whether it's regular flu or swine flu, so they had to send your blood to San Diego for further tests. And we should have the results early next week. I said, okay. I said, so I appreciate you checking, but are you, do you think I'm still highly contagious or what? She goes, I don't know, but if I was you, I would stay in and I wouldn't go out in public. So I and believe me, I'm a misanthrope. I mean, I'm not going out in public anyway. Besides, I can't. I have to spend the next 19 hours making soup for my wife. So, and I don't mean to sound like a prick, folks, but don't you just want to be sick? If you're sick, don't you want to be sick on your own and get taken care of, right? God damn it. Stop being sick, jerk. She's not a jerk. She's the best. All right. So I think I might have swine flu, and they're not sure. And it's great because then everybody in the lobby is looking at me like, dude, you got swine. Why aren't you wearing a fucking Michael Jackson mask or something? What the hell's your problem? And then we wind up splitting, and then I take Karen home, and I tuck her into bed, and I take her temperature for the next 3 days, and continue and feed her soup. Yeah, I took care of her. I was probably an obstinate prick about it. I'm here's a stupid thermometer. Open your mouth. Jammed it in there. Temperature of 100. Well, I guess you're okay. Stupid dick. So they were supposed to have my swine flu test early this week, and I've heard nothing. It's Wednesday. I've still heard nothing. I'm assuming I don't have it, right? Which sucks, because honestly, I wish I did have it, because that's a better story. Yeah, I cover your face up. I wish I had it, because that's a much better story than just I had the flu or I got sick or I was shitting water for 4 days. Nobody wants to hear that with your 104-degree temperature. They want to hear, hey, I had the swine flu. Because, again, swine flu is killing old people and young people. It doesn't kill me. I'm in the middle. That's right. I mean, I'm old, like as old as I've ever been, but I'm not old like 80 and willing to die from, or not willing to die. I don't think these people are willing to die. Are they from swine flu? I'm willing to give my life for the swine flu. No, I mean, I don't think I'm susceptible to the dying part. So I hope I have it. I mean, I was really kind of hoping I had it. So who knows? I got to call the lab. I understand there's been trouble. So once I get them squared away, that'll be fine. And it's funny here. I'll tell you this, folks. Here's where my life is right now. Okay, this is where my life is. Saturday, I get an email. Now I got sick. Monday of last week. Saturday, I get an email. In the subject line, it just says swine flu with a question mark. It's from my buddy Pat. And I open it up, and there's just literally like one sentence. It says, hey, Chip says that you might have swine flu. Is that true? What's going on over there? And I wanted to write him back and just go, what's going on? Here's what's going on. My friend Chip thought I might have swine flu and wrote you an email. And then you, one of my best friends in the world, certainly for the last 12 years, wrote me a one-sentence email to make sure I was okay. Thanks, guys. Look, I don't expect a fucking parade. I don't expect you to call an ambulance or troop over with soup or bake me a goddamn brownie. I don't fucking know. But you know what? How about a goddamn phone call? Again, it's not, if I'm just like I have a cold, I totally get it. But I might have the goddamn swine flu. This is a 24-karat disease. This is in the goddamn news. You can't call me. You can't come over and knock on the door and see if I'm okay. And look, I understand all my friends have kids, and they've got they don't want to be catching swine flu from me, jerk. But Chip doesn't have kids. Chip's got himself and his houses. That's it. That's all he's got. He's got Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell living in one of his houses. That's great. So that's who he has, and he can't call me. He still hasn't called me to this fucking day. Terrible. That's where I'm at, folks. That's the people I know who think I have swine flu, and they write me a cursory email. Hey, buddy, I heard you might have cancer. Is that true? I just wanted to make sure. Anyway, we're going to go see Billy Squier in a couple of weeks. Are you in? Gee, I don't know. If I'm not killed by this brand new exotic disease they discovered in the fucking jungle, then certainly I'll be happy to go watch The Stroke with you. But right now, I got to tell you, I'm out because I get 104-degree temperature, and I'm spending most of my time in an apron making goddamn fucking chicken broth for my wife.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy. Coming up, a burlesque dancer, a clown, and some fucking guy in his underwear on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Oh, I'm Vic. And I'm Vinny.
And we're the Screw Brothers.
Come on down to the House of Filth. We got all new Blu-ray DVDs. Check out these fabulous selections.
Teabagger Butlor's Volume 3.
Let's Fuck Mikey. Yeah.
The Bukkake Kid.
Pink Eye. An Adventure in Skull Fucking.
Combat 2. Revenge of the Goonecks.
10 Hung Guys, a very sore girl, and a pizza place that really needs a mop.
The Brown Clown Mysteries.
1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, fist.
And the first 10 ladies to mention a 40-year-old boy get a House of Filth muff comb.
That's right, it's the House of Filth. Come on down, it ain't filthy.
Unless it's screw filthy.
So I've been laid up, folks. And it's funny, so like this show is, it's like a catch-up show, I guess, but I mean, I didn't do anything. That's the sad part. I got nothing to catch up with. I mean, I just, later on, I watch movies. That's what I did at my house. I watched Citizen Kane, which I'd never seen, which is brilliant. And then, you know what I watched? I watched 12 Monkeys, folks. Because let me tell you, when you're with 104-degree temperature and the chills and you're shaking under 3 blankets, there's nothing better to do than watch a movie about a virus that kills the entire human race. So now I'm watching it just like, hey, I wonder if I've got the 12 Monkeys disease. Could that possibly be? Because, again, there's trouble at the lab. They haven't been able to diagnose this. Maybe I call them and I go, look, you guys, do me a favor. Watch 12 Monkeys. Maybe that'll give you a hint, and you'll figure out exactly what's wrong with me. And by the way, if I have the 12 Monkeys disease, I'm sure Karen has the 13 Monkeys disease. Because hers always goes to 11. And I say this risking sounding like a complete jagoff. I get that. I get it. Oh, you know what? Here's another movie I watched. You know what I watched? Last Tango in Paris. You ever see that movie, folks? It's Marlon Brando from like 1973, and it's a movie in France, and half of it's in French, and there's subtitles. And Brando, he's like a guy who keeps meeting a chick. And dude, I gotta tell you, there is nothing better or worse than people who think they're making art. I mean, it is fucking horrible. I'm watching Last Tango in Paris, and it's just a lot of that staring into the distance while people talk about nothing. Oh, Christ, it was awful. Like, you know what it was? It was like, at that point, Brando's Brando. So they're like, well, this guy's a brilliant genius. We can let him do whatever the fuck he wants. So he indulges himself by making this movie, and he, you know, there's the scene where he bangs the chick in the ass with the butter, and I was like, all right, well, I got to see that part for sure. But then there's another part where, so then later on, he makes her put her fingers up his ass. Like, and he says that, he's like, put your fingers up my ass. I can't do a Brando. But he's like, put your fingers up my ass. And she's doing it, and he's like, oh, yeah. He goes, I'm going to have a pig fuck you. And she's like, yeah? Is that what you're going to do? And he goes, yeah. I'm going to have the pig fuck you, and then the pig's going to vomit on you. And you're going to swallow the pig's vomit after he does it while he's fucking you. And I'm like, ha-ha, this is hysterical. Because, you know, Brando's just like, hold on, I've got something here. Like, they were like, well, what could we possibly do? What's in the next scene? Brando's like, hold on, I thought of something. All right, rolling. And you know what? I'm going to have this chick put her fingers up my ass and tell her the pig's going to fuck her and puke in her face. What? Really, Brando? But because he's Brando, they fucking let him get away with it. And then he's like, you're going to, and the pig's going to die while he's fucking you. And then you're going to go around back and you're going to smell the death fart that comes out of the pig's ass. The death fart. I had heard this movie was a classic. I gotta be honest, I had never envisioned a classic film with the phrase death fart in it. That has never been... I watched Citizen Kane, not once. Not once did Charles Foster Kane mention a death fart. It did not happen. There were no pigs fucking women and vomiting in their face in Citizen Kane. That's a genius movie. I don't know. I guess that's what elevates a film. But, gee, it's so awful. And then at the end, like, all right, I don't want to say, but at the end, a main character gets shot in Last Tango. And then this main character winds up on a balcony just staring off into the distance. And then they show, like, France. And then this main character lies down and dies. And then another main character winds up repeating something over and over and over. And then, literally, Finn, F-I-N, comes up on the screen. Fucking Last Tango's awful. You got to tape it. Brando's an ass. Honestly, granted he's dead and all that other horse shit. And now you see, when I watch that movie, I go, now it explains why he bought an island and then, you know, started hanging out with Michael Jackson and wearing fucking caftans and muumuus all the goddamn time. He was bananas. Brando's a fucking nutbag. He's as bad as Elvis, but he was like an acting Elvis. But dude, just... They let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. He just, you know, I'm going to have a pig fuck you and he's going to vomit in your face. Put your fingers up my ass. And then you're going to suck the death fart out of the pig's ass. That's a classic, folks. It's one of your top 10 films of all time. All right, so that was horrendous. So I had to sit through that. And then I had to watch my wife taped the Michael Jackson funeral. Funeral? Was that? I don't even know. Is he officially in the ground? Is he in the mausoleum? I don't even know. All I know is she had Larry King on, and they're interviewing again. Every hanger-on in the world. It's like, dudes, seriously, let it go. I mean, it's just, it's over. It's over at this point. But they still unearth every fucking hanger-on, and they wind up talking to him. They're talking to Deepak Chopra, and Karen says to me, she says, Deepak Chopra says that he wrote lyrics for Dangerous. In the interview, he's like, oh, yeah, I helped Michael write the lyrics on Dangerous. And she was disgusted by it. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course he did. So did everybody. He's dead. I mean, they're all going to say whatever the fuck they want. Everyone's going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, I wrote Bad. And then he did a spin and he had a sandwich and then he moonwalked into the kitchen and he sang it. You know what I mean? Of course it happened. Anybody know, every fucking janitor who worked at Neverland now is probably like, I wrote Thriller. But you're a janitor. So you think a janitor can't write a good song? Here's a song right here. Doot, 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 doot. Give me $1 million. Fuck that. Doesn't matter, man. He's fucking dead, so everybody in the world is going to be able to claim whatever the fuck they want. I mean, now I'm hearing Macaulay Culkin might be the father of the kids. Dude, what the fuck? Who cares? He's dead. It's over. Let it go. Let it go. I actually thought I dreamed that part. In my crazy fever dream. I'm like, wait a minute. Did Brando just say he was going to have somebody suck a death fart out of a pig's ass? That has to be part of my fever dream. That's not happening. But then I checked with Karen to see if it was part of the fever dream, and she was very busy laying down with her the back of her hand on her head and getting the vapors. So I didn't want to go ahead and confirm that with her. That seems awful. Again, I love my wife. I'm happy that she's better now. But it took her like 6 days to recover. 6 or 7 days. She's still a little under the weather, unfortunately. And it's because, again, I'm much stronger than she is. Yeah, I'm much stronger. That's why I have to keep saying it. I have to keep convincing myself that I'm so much fucking stronger. I'm an idiot. It's funny. I was talking about Marlon Brando, and because Marlon Brando, look, all right, Last Tango is fucking awful. We can all agree on that, right, folks? Even if you've never seen it, just by the fucking 30-second description I gave you, trust me, it's horrible. It's a bunch of, it's terrible. Two people talking for hours and not saying anything, really bad. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Marlon Brando is great. Okay, Marlon Brando's a fantastic actor, and if you've seen like On the Waterfront and things like that, you're like, oh, okay, he's a fucking genius. And I guess then you understand why people give him so much rope that he can go ahead and make Last Tango and be a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Because I bring this up because, I mean, greatness to me, I bring it up because I just heard a Beatles song that I was not familiar with. It's a song called No Reply, and I heard it, and I seriously, folks, will the Beatles' greatness never end? Honestly, I mean, they are just fucking fantastic. And then, they're having this huge renaissance now because, and it's funny, I say a renaissance for the Beatles. They've never fucking gone away. There's no reason for them to have a renaissance. They've just been famous all the fucking time, and rightfully so, because they're the goddamn Beatles. Rock Band is coming out, and now they've remastered all of their albums. They've put out like a mono version, and they put out all the stereo versions, and I'm just fascinated by how, like I've said before, like about certainly a much different arena. When I've talked about Anderson Silva, okay, he's the best fighter in the world in mixed martial arts. I'm fascinated about what it must be like to be the best in the world at something. And just at the same time, I'm fascinated about what it must be like to not only see greatness in front of you, but to know that it's greatness. Like, yeah, those people that were in the basement in Germany when the fucking Beatles were playing, those people are looking at one another. Imagine if you're in a basement in Germany in the 60s. And you're going to have a beer, and your buddy's like, hey, I'll get the first round. And he goes over and gets the first round. And then as you're drinking your beer, you're kind of talking, and there's that band on stage, and you're not really paying much attention to them. But as you're talking, all of a sudden, you start to pay attention to them, and you go, who the fuck are these guys? These guys are fantastic. And to see that unfold is just amazing to me. It's like, this is weird. All right, this is a true story. Hunter S. Thompson was also fascinated by greatness. Hunter S. Thompson, he used to type out The Great Gatsby word for word, just to see how a great work unfolds. Now, that is unbelievable dedication and unbelievable insanity. Because I don't even, I'll be honest, I don't even want to fucking read The Great Gatsby again, let alone sit down and type it out. But I got to be honest, I admire that. I admire the fact that he was that dedicated to it, that he said to himself, you know what, I want to go ahead and type it out just to feel what it feels like when greatness comes off of your fingertips. And that's just the best. I mean, I with the Beatles being interviewed and stuff, now I saw Paul McCartney, he's on Entertainment Tonight, And Mary Hart actually said to him, hey, you know, there were a lot of other good bands in Liverpool around that time. Why do you think you guys broke out? I don't know, because they're the fucking Beatles? You think that's why, Mary? Who the fuck else was going to burst out? Jimmy Jack and the Shine Boots? Who else is coming out of Liverpool at that time? So was there this hot scene where it was like the Beatles and like 9 other bands, and then for some reason the Beatles got a break? Yeah, you know what the break was? Having Lennon and McCartney in the goddamn band. That was the break. That was it. That and getting rid of Pete Best, because that guy was a fucking albatross around their neck. Get rid of him. I love the fact that she would ask Paul McCartney, yeah, you know, there's a lot of other good bands around. Oh, were there really? Other bands that could stack up to the Beatles? But what, once the Beatles came out, they decided to go back to, I don't know, putting up brick walls because they had no talent? Unbelievable. But I'm fascinated by seeing greatness. It's like when, you know, the song Sympathy for the Devil is a song that we hear a million times on the radio. Nobody even really thinks about it. But if you think about hearing it for the first time in like 1966 or whenever the fuck it came out. And just the line, I rode a tank in the general's rank when the blitzkrieg burned and the bodies stank. And you look at your friend, you just be like, what the fuck? Did he just say that? Seriously? I mean, that's a long way from the Archies and Sugar back then. God damn, the Stones, the Beatles, and to this day, and Zeppelin, it's like, you're like, no wonder they keep getting played, because they're fucking fantastic. They're amazingly great. And you know what's funny? On the other side of that, I want to know if there were guys in the basement in Germany who went, you know what? These guys blow. Do you think there was anybody who hated the Beatles, like when he saw them for the first time? And let me ask you, all right, we go the other route. You're in the bar in Germany, and you hear the band, you're like, wow, who the fuck are these guys? These guys are great. And your buddy's like, nah, I don't think they're that great. Does that guy cling stubbornly to the fact that the Beatles suck throughout their career? Do you think he watched them in the bar and then he's like, they're terrible, and then he never gives them the benefit of the doubt the rest of his life? He's like, nah, these guys are terrible. No, can't, they're awful. Everything, let it be, no matter the fuck, whatever else comes out. He's like, nah, they're just as bad as the first time I saw them in Cologne, Germany. Really? Lighten up, you tight ass, to the goddamn Beatles. I don't know how tough it is for these bands to live up to their fans' expectations. Like it's so funny. I used to joke around with my buddy Max all the time. We used to talk like Jim Morrison. I think I've even mentioned this on the show. You know, Jim Morrison became this larger than life figure. He's a shaman. He's got magical powers. He's really good looking, and he's a poet, and he does all these different things. Do you think that Jim Morrison ever just had a ham sandwich and tried to relax and watch a football game, and people came up to talk to him and they were just like hoping he'd be shamanistic and drop some weird knowledge, and he's just like, hey guys, I'm just fucking Jim. I'm just looking to have a fucking sandwich and watch a football game. Can we back off, please? I guess my point is, was there a normal Morrison? That's what I want to know. Because was he always Jim? Was he always leather pants and carrying a lamb and sticking his finger out of his fucking zipper and, you know, we walked on down the hall and all? Was he like that at all times? Or was he ever just, you know, reading the paper, taking a shower, just a normal dude? And like, imagine meeting normal Morrison and you're just going up to him and you're like, dude, like, we're totally into your music, and if there's a way you could drop some knowledge on us and just go ahead and tell us something about the end. And he's just like, fellas, I'm just gonna have a club sandwich. Seriously, I don't know why Morrison is eating a sandwich in all of my fucking anecdotes. I don't know. Why is that my go-to thing? Again, Anderson Silva too. I'm like, he's the toughest guy in the world. Make me a sandwich. Why are sandwiches so big in my life? I got to let go of my sandwich fascination, folks. I don't know what the hell it is, but I for some reason, me and sandwiches are just trying to have it out. Ugh, I don't get it. How tough it must be for those bands. For Morrison just wants to relax, but people want fucking Morrison. They don't want normal Morrison. They want Morrison. It's like the Beatles. The fucking Beatles come out with Sgt. Pepper, and everybody just goes, oh my God, Sgt. Pepper is unbelievable. Now top it. Top it? Are you fucking kidding? Fuck you, top it. We just made Sgt. Pepper. Back off, top it. That's why Kurt Cobain ate a shotgun. Seriously. Because he made Nevermind, and then he made In Utero, and everybody's like, that's great. What's next? What's next, Kurt? What's next? What the fuck? What do you mean, what's next? Can I get anybody to give me some slack over fucking Nevermind? Honestly, I'm great. Can we back off a little bit? So that's why, well, that's probably not the only reason Kurt Cobain ate a shotgun. Let's be honest. That and Courtney Love, I think, probably would be another reason why. I'll tell you, it's funny. You ever see that picture of the internet with her with a tit in a guy's mouth? You ever see that? It's literally, she's on the street and there's some homeless black guy and Courtney Love just has her tit in the guy's mouth. I think Cobain actually shot himself again when he saw that fucking picture. Cobain's in heaven or wherever the fuck he is. He actually procured a shotgun and blew his head off a second time once he saw that fucking picture on the internet. And I can't blame him. I got to be honest with you. I don't even know her, and I wanted to shoot myself in the fucking head when I saw that picture. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to eat a bullet after seeing this homeless guy get a fucking mouthful of her fucking nipple. That's weak. And then, you know what? It's funny because the Beatles rock band comes out this week, but also the new Guitar Hero came out. And in the new Guitar Hero, people were outraged because they found out that Kurt Cobain was going to be in the new Guitar Hero. Okay, so people were upset about that. But then it got a million times worse when the game came out, because it turns out Kurt Cobain's in the game, but he doesn't just sing Nirvana songs. You can make Kurt Cobain do whatever you want on the game. So if you go to YouTube now and you Google Kurt Cobain Guitar Hero, there's pictures of him lip syncing Bon Jovi, "You Give Love a Bad Name," and it's the ghost of Kurt Cobain. Basically, he's singing all of the things that he hated. I mean, that's the thing, is this is everything he hated about the music business, was the exploitation of it and everything, and whatever else. Again, he's all fucked up, but at the same time. But the very fact that you can see him pogoing to Billy Idol's "Dancing with Myself" and actually lip syncing it while there's like a 10-year-old boy on guitar and a skeleton behind him playing drums. Part of me thinks absolutely that it's really fucking sad and it's terrible, but also part of me thinks it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, because it's that's the one thing that he probably did not want. He killed himself to get out of the whole rat race of the music business, and yet now for all eternity you can make him dance around and hop around to Billy Idol songs. It's the things that he hated most, and thanks to Courtney, because she needed the dough. And I mean, I think the bottom line is, don't marry a junkie stripper. That's pretty much, if you marry a junkie stripper, whatever happens to you, you deserve it. Whatever's going to happen, whether you wind up killing yourself or whether she winds up killing you many times over and over the years. Seriously, if you marry a junkie stripper, you deserve everything that you're going to get.
You're listening to the 40-Year-Old Boy. Coming up, Ask the Lizard King. An Indian shaman asks X-Doors frontman Jim Morrison questions submitted by everyday listeners.
Oh, great Lizard King! Louis from Tucson writes, I have to make the toast at my parents' 45th wedding anniversary. I am no good at public speaking. Any suggestions on what I should say?
Father, yes, son, I want to kill you.
Lizard King, that's kind of dark. I don't know if that's what Louis was thinking when...
Mother!
Oh, no. No, Lizard King?
I want to...
No, I think we should stop. No, we're stopping! Stopping! Put the feathers away!
Break on through with Ask the Lizard King on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
All right, come on, yeah!
That's what I got for you this week. Music, because I did nothing, man. I'm serious. I laid around, I listened to iTunes, and I watched music. I had an idea. Here's this idea I had. I have an idea for like an anti-iTunes. I think this is a genius idea. Okay. Not only should you be able to buy music by artists that you like, okay? That's iTunes revolutionized the fact that you can buy one song or two songs or whole albums or whole collections. So not only that, but what if you hated somebody? What if there was a band you hated? I think you should be able to pay for the privilege of never hearing that band again. It's like an anti-iTunes. So, seriously, think about it. If all it took was $12 to guarantee that you would never have to hear Linkin Park again, how fast do you write that fucking check? Seriously, I mean, if someone said to me, hey, for $13, you will never have to hear Boston ever again, I'm in. I don't care. $13, I'm doing it. I don't know how it worked. Would they put a chip inside you? I guess they'd have to put a chip inside you. An anti-Boston chip? How the fuck would that work? I don't know how it would work. Again, folks, when you got 104-degree fever and you bake your head, this is the stuff you think about. You sit there and you watch Brando talking French, and then you think about how bands you hate, you should never be able to hear them again. I got nothing for you folks this week. Seriously, I can't tell you how long it took to do this show. I think it took 2.5 hours to do just this episode. And it's because I'm still fried, man. I mean, I got no traction at all. I'm talking... we all know that usually I talk and then I find a vein and I'm able to kind of surf it and get to where I'm going. But man, this week it was, to use another tortuous medical analogy, it was pulling teeth this week. Quite frankly, I wish I had pulled teeth. I think it would be much more interesting if you could hear me yanking teeth out of my fucking head with the pliers. which, by the way, is also from 12 Monkeys, which we saw earlier. And my wife, of course, has the 13 Monkeys. But man, I'm spinning my fucking wheels this week. I tried. I mean, I was like, right when it was weird on the way here, I was so fatigued, like so tired, and then I had to come in and I had to watch 19 hours of bears walking through the woods with Lily. It's like I came in and I'm all ready to do a show, and she's sitting on the couch watching some bear show, and then she's like, "Oh, this is a great show," and it's about a guy who was attacked by a lion, and now he wants to go see a bear. Oh my. I guess. Oh my! I guess tigers are next. So then it'll be lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my for this guy. But yeah. So and then I that was an hour, and then we came in here, and I just I'm firing on nothing. I literally ate Ritz crackers just to get salt in my system. Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking mess. What happened to me? You know what? Let's try this again next week. That's what I say. Let's try this again next week. Next week will be, I should have just had Lily do another fucking a greatest hits show. I should have had her, by the way, greatest hits, that's pushing it a little bit. Previous stories, let's put it that way. Instead of greatest hits, it was previous stories. But yeah, and again, I'm not asking for anybody to be sympathetic or empathetic and tell me I'm wrong. But this show is a fucking gut punch. All right. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. I just seriously, I'm spent half the time trying not to yawn, and I'm grasping for purchase, trying to find anything to fucking, because I didn't want to bore you with the sick thing. I mean, it was like literally nothing happened. I got sick, and then I couldn't fucking move. It wasn't even like interesting sick. If I'd had swine flu, that would have been fine. The fact that I almost infected that entire office was worth it, But seriously, I still don't even know if I had swine flu. I'm waiting to hear from the fucking doctor. I'm like, I'm sure he's not going to be able to find out whether I had it or not because he's still busy contemplating the ridiculous cholesterol level that happened when he took my blood. Jesus Christ. I'm going to print it, actually. I'll tell you that. Rocky with a Blog starts this week. So go to my website and go to the communique section, and there will be the first entry. I haven't had internet for 4 days. Dude, that's why. Again, I'm out of it. I'm fucking out of it, folks. I just feel like I just fucking completely, my guts have been twisted with a stick. I don't know. I got nothing for you. I feel awful. We, again, I bought a TV. I had to buy a TV and they delivered it and then they came in. And the reason it's so funny. People, really, you had to buy a TV? I actually did because my TV fried and it was the picture tube was going. So it was getting like darker and darker. So, and then I'm wondering if I had just like cataracts. It's like what it would be like if I was old watching television. I got a nice preview of what that's going to be like. But I had to get a television. And unfortunately nowadays you can't just go buy a regular television anymore. Everything's a plasma or an LCD and whatever. And again, there was nothing funny about that either. It was just me going and dealing with it. So then these dudes had to come and deliver my fucking television. They hook it up. And when they leave, for some reason, my internet doesn't work. Like, because the phone splitter didn't, I don't know. I get no fucking clue. But now for 4 days, I don't have a goddamn internet again. Terrible. Terrible. All right. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. I got nothing. I wish I did. I seriously wish I did. But we got me flailing about. Nothing happened in the last 2 weeks. I got sick. I didn't want to bore you with that. The TV, nothing happened. I saw a car accident happen. So what? Nobody cares. It wasn't like an interesting car accident. Sure, I might have caused it, but so what? That doesn't mean anything. Here's what happened. There was a guy, he was pulling out of a parking garage, and I pulled up because I was going to pull into the parking garage. Well, he can't see past my big kind of SUV-looking car, and I got my lights on anyway. So he's inching forward. I'm waving at him, don't go, dude, because I can see in my mirror there are cars coming. He's still inching forward. I'm waving like, don't go, don't go. He punches it. And the next thing I hear is a huge bang. He gets blasted by a Mini Cooper. And he's got like a Chrysler 300. The fucking bumper came off, and I feel awful. I'm like, well, because I was impeding his vision. But you know what? If your vision's impeded, don't punch into goddamn traffic. That's not my fault, right? I'm not gonna fucking wear the albatross around my neck for that. But sure enough, man, he's like giving me dirty looks. He's talking to the cops. He's pointing at me. What the fuck are you pointing at me for, dude? I didn't tell you to go. And even if I did tell you to go, why would you fucking go? I could be a maniac. You don't know who the fuck I am. I'm just an idiot in a car who's blocking your vision. I was waving, don't go, don't go. I don't fucking know. So he pulled out, he got blasted. And by the way, if you've ever seen a Mini Cooper get in an accident, it looked like, you know what? A Mini Cooper in an accident, it looks like when you pop open biscuits. And because it's literally just the airbags are popped out of every single crevice in the goddamn car. Windows, out of the door. It's nothing but airbags. I don't even think there were passengers in this car. I think this Mini Cooper had been driven by airbags, renegade airbags, who were trying to escape to Airbag Island. I have no idea, but something happened with this Mini Cooper. It's filled with airbag, and it looked like if you pop them in a biscuit tin. But yeah, so this guy's pissed off. But again, that's nothing new there. There's nothing funny there. That happened. That just happened. Again, this is the week where things just happened. Nothing funny happened. And I could have gone into my past, but I felt I still had to recap the sickness. And then I'm 20 minutes in, and I'm like, well, there's no point in starting a goddamn story. Just kill me. Fucking kill me. God damn it. There you go. So now I've lifted the shades on this particular brand of nonsense as I fucking bring you exactly what's going on in my twisted head as I try not to yawn. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at MySpace.com/MikeSchmidtComedy. Follow me at Twitter. Go follow my Twitter. Literally, I think I posted 2 things this week, and I posted. What was I going to say? Oh, I'll bore you with this. I'm going to a baseball game this weekend, and I'm going on 9/11 to the baseball game. And my friend wrote me, and he's like, it was Pardo, and he's like, hey, I know you usually have a big party on 9/11, but I'm wondering if you want to go ahead and skip that and come to the baseball game with me. And so I wrote him back. I said, you know what? I don't mind passing up the party this year as long as you don't mind me wearing my hat that I'd made. I don't want to give anything away, but I would not want to be the guy sitting behind us. So there, that happened. You guys can get me, like I said, Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. What would you want to write me for? What are you going to write? Tell me that? Forget it. MySpace.com/MikeSchmidtComedy. Follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. Go to Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. And as always, that's the number 4040 on both of those. And our friend Lily Von Stupp, you can go ahead and find her at Facebook as well, Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp, and become her friend, become my friend, and we'll have a big friend 3-way. And then you can also follow, I know you can't follow her at Twitter again, she hates people. And then, you can find her at burlesque411.com. You can reach her at Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, host of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast, which you're listening to right now. Wanted to tell you about Skull Pie t-shirts and year 1 download sets available now for your college student or for your toddler or your preteen. Any children that are going back to school would appreciate this as a gift. So go ahead and pick up a Skull Pie t-shirt. These are available at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, or get a year 1 download set, also available at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Lily's laughing, and she won't laugh out loud, so it's throwing me off. It's a little strange. So go ahead and pick up year 1 download sets and Skull Pie t-shirts for yourself, for your college student, again, for any child that you might have, any child you might know about. I know my audience tends to get around. I am dumb. All right, so go ahead and pick up a year 1 download set, pick up a Skull Pie t-shirt, all from the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. That's right, the 40-Year-Old Boy. 52 episodes, $25, one brutally funny podcast. Don't forget Monday night and every Monday night, this Monday night, the Monday Night Teas at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Who's coming up this week? Anybody important?
The return of Vanity Flair.
The return of Vanity Flair. Oh, I like Vanity. She's nice. She apparently she was big in burlesque and singing and doing things, and then moved to Arkansas or something. I mean, like moved to some jerkwater town. It was like where apparently they don't have burlesque. So now she and Kevin Bacon just run through a barn jumping and doing somersaults. I don't know if that works out. But so Vanity Flair will be there on Monday night. Go and check it out at the 3 clubs at Santa Monica and Vine. And again, contact Lily at burlesque411.com for any and all information regarding that show or any upcoming shows. Is there an upcoming theme show? Yes, no? Teenage angst, and always expressed best by women taking their clothes off. So please go. What date is that?
This Monday.
Oh, is this Monday? Oh, so this Monday, Vanity Flair is back for Teenage Angst.
She's doing Juno.
Okay, she's doing Juno. That's awful. All right, so make sure you go check out that fucking train wreck waiting to happen. And I'll tell you this: before I left my house today, I got a knock on the door from my 81-year-old landlord, and he's like, "Monsieur, I need a favor," and he wants me to write a letter explaining what happened the night of the standoff in my house. And I'm like, first he says, "Monsieur, why will you not write a letter explaining what happened?" And I go, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And he's like, "No, but why won't you write the letter?" And I said, "Again, Mario, seriously, I got no idea what you're saying." He's like, "Oh. Okay, well, I need you to write a letter about what happened." Because apparently he wants, Larry and Albert want to come back to the apartment building. I think Albert actually has spider walked back to Albuquerque, and Larry is still in the hospital. And I was privy to some details today that I didn't know previously. Apparently, he's saying, "Oh yes, we don't want him here because he's crazy. He's very crazy." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, he was going to kill us all." I said, "I don't know what that means." He goes, "Apparently that night when he had the gun and there was the standoff, and he was, I guess he was also naked, because when they pulled him out on the stretcher, he had blankets on. I didn't see anything happening. So apparently he was naked the whole time in his house, and he had turned all the gas on the stove, and he was going to blow up the building. So I that's why there were 1,000 cops apparently at my house. Because I was wondering exactly why that was the case. One guy with a gun, who cares? Just fucking put one in his head from 100 yards away and then drag his corpse out. But apparently he had turned on all and blown out his pilot light and turned on everything, and he was going to. He was looking to blow the place up. So I don't know what he wants from me in a letter. I don't know what he's looking for. Dear Mario, here's what happened the night in question. And I guess I get to tell him that guy came to my house and was creepy on my... what I should just do? I should just tell him to listen to the fucking show. That's what? I'm not even going to have to go ahead and write a letter. I'm going to go, I'm not going to write a letter. Just go ahead and listen to this fucking show. It'll explain everything that happened that night, and it'll tell everybody exactly how crazy this motherfucker was. And believe me, none of us want him back if he was going to blow the goddamn building up. So yeah, and although, quite frankly, if they listen to that show, maybe they're going to be like, well, this guy's a little crazy too. Maybe we don't want him fucking coming back in. So maybe I should write a letter. Maybe I'll just transcribe that show. That's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and transcribe that show. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a decent guy because I am a jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Man, I'm an awful guy. I'm not an awful guy. I am not a good guy. But I don't think I'm a bad person overall. So, and go ahead and by all means judge that. I'm kind of a jagoff. I got the future. What am I talking about? But I am a jagoff. And I'm not a jerk. I'm a nice guy. It's just I guess I have jerky tendencies. I've done so much ridiculous stuff, and then I wonder afterwards, I'm like, man, how come I don't hang out with anybody? Here's why, because you're a dick. You're finished. 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 You're finished.